Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Randos and Moi. Now, I know that I looked a lot sexier in the last show, but this time I came back with my same old ugly self. And today we have tons of topics that we will never get to. So to kick it off, we're gonna go to is SSJ on that side or that side? That side? Okay.
I
We're
just
gonna go, we're gonna go that away.
see on my screen you over there. But anyway, it
That
don't matter.
away.
It don't matter.
Or
Um,
or or, or that away.
I can never just relax for a minute. But you know what? Fuck.
Forbidden from any kind of relaxing because you know why? Because you never got me my what was it? My B-32 space motor.
All he had to do is pull out his gun and just shoot you like bang. You're gone. You're gonna just turn to ashes. Get off the
I
screen.
think I think Jay is confused by the space modulator.
How much other Martians you know that had a proper English accent like that? You understand? He the only person that was running modulators. Yeah.
Not just modulators, space modulator.
Hmm. All right, fine.
Jay, I'm making reference to his Marvin the Martian hat.
I think Jay still no, he's not sleeping. Jay's getting the
Wait,
numbers in.
can, can,
So
can you hear me?
today's first topic that I'm gonna run into is I'm gonna talk about a little bit about GTA 6 and how that's the only game that I'm looking forward to in the near future. I currently play Marvel Rivals and I recently got back into Fortnite for fun, but GTA 6 is the only game that I'm planning on buying.
Did you say
Now,
something about that game that you installed recently that you want to play so badly because it was so awesome?
This
Anthem.
is how we get off topic, people. Well, let me tell you. First of all, SS, go take your little 1 minute rest. Let's get into it. So we're talking about the new generation of man therapy, right? Because if you can't go to therapy, you're going to play some video games, right? Now, the games are getting more and more frustrating as we get older. Not because we're old, it's because some of the games are getting frustrated. I heard it this week. Technology seems to be going backwards. But let's start. Let's
Hold up,
start on
hold
let's
up.
start on
I'm
this.
curious about that because I want to know how technology is going backwards. Because I don't
Okay,
know if you remember, but when we used to play video games way back in the early 80s, um, they used to be super frustrating because they used to do things like have hidden rooms. You had to enter like long
okay,
codes to get
okay,
for
okay.
continue your
There's a
game.
difference. There's a
We
difference.
we are not going backwards. Go play Metal Gear Solid
I
from
love
like
the Metal.
back in the day,
I love Metal Gear Solid. But
or
here
even
was the
worse, play the original Metal Gear,
I played that.
where
All
to
right.
win the game, there are certain parts in the game where you have to randomly punch a wall to progress.
Okay. Okay. Again, those games were difficult to the mind. Progression. The reason why I say games have gone backwards is because back in the day, up until like maybe 2006, 2008, from the 80s, we put the game in and we could immediately play. Not have a 2 hour update, not have a 3 hour update, not get everybody on the system. Oh, we all here, boys? Let's start this up. Oh, it has a 3 hour update. We'll be back.
To be
Right?
fair,
and
No,
though,
then you never come
games.
back.
we never, and then we never come back because the game takes too long to download. We only had an hour at a time. What game do you already have installed? And
Hmm.
somebody not saying, holy crap,
That's
man,
why
I
I started playing
need
Fortnite again. I literally asked, "Yo, what game you have installed?" Fortnite. All right, I got that too. Let's roll.
But remember, back in the day, games used to fit completely inside the computer's memory. There's no reason because you couldn't update it because it just used to be on like a
all,
ROM that
all,
you stick in the
all I'm
system.
saying is that there should be a base game that you should be able to play right away. You shouldn't have
Like as soon
every
as you put it in, as soon as you finish downloading it, you should just be like, what always gets me is the fact that they make you download it and then do the update. At that point, why didn't you just download the
Update.
updated game?
ex-
Exactly.
exactly. So just imagine how we used to be. We used to get a game from the store. People had limited time back then too. We used to put this game in. We used to play it. The hardest thing about the game, other than the actual missions, maybe, is figuring out the buttons. Because there's some people in this very podcast that doesn't read instructions. We'll figure it out. And then when the moves come out, and they're like, "How the hell you did that?" Well, you didn't see the instruction said press A and B at the same time.
We aren't calling any names.
Yeah, we're not calling any names, but he's one of the randos in here. And in this case, he might be the me because that is, but
The only me present is Marvin.
but I digress. We're going to talk about a franchise called Grand Theft Auto. Initially came out in 1997, right? So that's a long time, people. So all you people, oh, Grand Theft Auto 5. If the first Grand Theft Auto didn't come out, you wouldn't have seen the rest of it, right? So this had many holes.
Could you run over hoes even back then?
Yeah, you ran over everybody. The best thing was the character couldn't talk, and ironically, I don't think the character could swim. So that would bring us up to that would bring us up
die.
that would bring up us to the Grand Theft
So
Auto.
I have to ask, when you say he couldn't swim, like did he used to walk into the water, he used to reach his knees, and then you say, "Ooh."
Yes, exactly. And that was great loading and chopping. That was great defining where the universe ended and began.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could get in a speedboat, but if you actually fell out of that speedboat, you was out of luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we had Grand Theft Auto 1997. 2004 was almost the peak before Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Where was the first game you could get fat so you could look like me, or you could look like this. It doesn't matter.
How do you get fat? Do you just have to eat lots of fries and then the character
No,
just
you
bulk up?
ate fries and stuff, and then you know what it did? I think it did more for health education than anything. You started eating burgers and stuff like that. Then when you're trying to run away from what do you call it? From those evil, nefarious associates. I'm not gonna say cops. I'm just gonna say the other associates. You couldn't run. You started getting tired, and it's like, wow. Sounds like real life. Sounds like when you wake up, one day you go to bed as a Coke bottle. Next thing you wake up is a 3-liter. You know what I'm saying? That's how it feels to me. Those people who know, because I used to be. Oh, man, I was skinny. I was fat when I was skinny, so I know the deal. But anyway, as we go up to Grand Theft Auto after San Andreas, which got banned because of this code called hot coffee.
Hot coffee, baby.
Those who know. Rockstar
help me know.
Look at the side.
I'll help you know. So
hot coffee.
We're gonna do
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto adjacent. That's another Grand Theft Auto adjacent. All right, we're gonna speed up all the way now to Grand Theft Auto 5, which initially came out in 2013. A game that did not advertise like other games, like Destiny, like Anthem. We're going to be a decade saga and still be one game. Mm-hmm. Grand Theft Auto never says shit, never does any extra shit. I don't even think Grand Theft Auto 5 does anything well. They just do a confluence of together.
Apparently, Grand Theft Auto had a hot coffee and a cold coffee mod.
Yes. The hot coffee was the one that you could put in the systems.
But the hot coffee was for the normal people.
Yeah.
Oh, let me say that hot coffee was seen not actually being X-rated, but it's something to that point. Mm-hmm. But you didn't really see anything. It was just a matter of what they did. So going on to Grand Theft Auto 5. It has made $10 billion. And that's within the video game system, which is not so bad and not so bad because it's not telling you about the copies. It's telling you about the ecosystem within the game. You can buy different things. And the thing is, that game never pressured you to buy shit. No. You just played and you wanted to play. Mm-hmm. I still blame that game on some of my little cousins not knowing anything about goal-oriented video gaming anymore. So there's a lot of things to blame about that game. Free walking around the world. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, but I remember doing that since Assassin's Creed.
But Assassin's Creed, you could drown too. There was only so much things you could. I think there was a whole drowning thing that was going on between '97 and 2000 in video game. Like, why couldn't the game swim? Remember, this is when they used to advertise limitless.
That was too
Well,
advanced, yo. Too advanced.
they're like, yeah,
If,
swimming with game.
yeah, if you had a game that was actually limitless in that manner, you can imagine someone just being like, you know what? I'm going to start here and I'm going to swim all the way until I come up on the other side of the map and beat the game.
Yeah, but they had
That's a
sectioned
good
off
idea.
too. But that was a good idea. If they never sectioned off the game and you're on level 1 and they're on level 20 and you manage to beat them,
Yeah, but the whole thing was to just make the map like completely explorable no matter because remember in the older ones, you used to have to climb to the top of a building. When you get to the top of the building, you have to do the leap of faith. And what was actually happening was it was actually just loading the next stage because to give you kind of like an animation
you
before
say
you go
you
to the
say
next
you say in the
stage.
older ones. I think you had to do that in all of them.
No. They changed that after a while. From Sense, I think uh, after Black Sails, I think you could actually just run everywhere. Or am I misremembering? I don't think you have to do it in Black Sails.
Even if you could run everywhere, I always went up on top of the perch, and because everything was an eagle, man. They made parkour fun. That I'll tell.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's true.
I'm trying not
Let me
to
check to
die.
see if I was telling you the truth. Actually,
That
keep going.
that's a
Let me
whole
check.
other thing that
I'm not trying
it
to
was
digress.
massive and then just faded out again. Parkour. Parkour was such a big deal. Like
You know
every
why
movie had to
parkour
have
failed out?
parkour.
It's called arthritis. It's called getting old.
I still
It's called,
periodically, I
I
still
still period. Oh, go ahead.
I still periodically say it.
Parkour.
I'll go to work randomly and like I'll put a foot on a chair and kind of take it off and be like parkour.
Parkour.
Well, no. See, that's the only parkour I want to do. And when you're doing it too, you hope your knees not snapping. Now, I know all you young people. Oh, what are you talking about? You know what my parkour was? Took the foot, go off the sheetrock, and bounce off of it. I was kind of cool. You know what? Parkour. That's one. That's light. And the Fisher Price basketball. Anybody want to challenge me? Bring any 3-year-old to 7-year-old to chat. Man, I'm going to dunk on them. I'm going to tell them about life. Boom.
Compete against 3 to 7 year old.
Yo,
That's the
3 to
age
7.
group.
Yo, when they about to do a crossover, they gonna see me kick the ball, and I'm gonna look at them. And they gonna
Oh
say,
my
"What
God.
happened?" I say, "I don't know what happened, but I got it." Boom! I'm gonna be dunking like Shaq, gorilla dunking. I break the whole
On
fish
3 to
right.
7 year olds.
Yep, that's how it goes. Cause them 10-year-olds is fast now. They be doing them cross. They be training. Man, 9-month-year-olds is welcome too. Y'all want to roll the ball? I'll roll the ball to you. You get checked. 5-second delay. 1, 2, 3,
So,
4, 5.
so
I got
9 months to 7 years, that's who you competed against?
Yeah,
Oh
you can't
God.
compete against them, boy. And I better be lucky that I don't get jumped by them 7-year-olds. You seen some of them? Some of them be on the field. They be like, "Yo, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna tackle you." Yeah, I was like, "Yo."
Yo.
But anyway, I digress. See, this is Grand Theft. This is exactly what Grand Theft Auto did to you. Free play,
Exactly.
free talk. People were playing stuff that we didn't even know
Yeah,
was a
no
Grand.
one finished the game. Everyone just did random missions. And
Old
I'm
people couldn't
so
do it.
fair that when the Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, that's gonna be the objective because I'm gonna get it, and that's what I'm gonna be doing, just random missions. I'm gonna be less lost in the whole world for weeks, just doing random crap. That's my plan. So if you guys want to join up with me, just find me in the game. I'll most likely be driving one of these and just cruising. That's it. And I will be obeying all street regulations. So I will only be going on green. I'll be stopping at red lights. Thank you. I'll be waving
And
people on.
I should have said this earlier. I'm talking about video game therapy for anybody, but it's good to get lost in the game. Grand Theft Auto was one of the chief things to get lost in. Also by Take Two, Red Dead Redemption 2. I got lost. I know Western things is a topic, but I got lost in that world. I love Western stuff. I was riding my horse along the horizon. I was fishing, and then one day I was fishing, and I was like, "Did I catch all the fish in every pond that they have in this game?" And I went on to go do it. And then I said, one day I go, damn, I've been lost in this game for hours. And then I press the stat button and they go, you spent 7 to 8 hours fishing. I said, really?
What? Just go
Dude,
fishing.
Just
that
going fishing.
that kind of nonsense used to happen in in when I used to play World of Warcraft. It used to have like these different crafting things, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go fishing," and you're just like leveling up your fishing skill. When you look at the time, it's like, "Oh, 4 hours just gone by," and all I did was just press the same button over and over again.
No, I had to fight. I had to work these Popeye forearms out. You see, I had to work these fish was biting. These fish was biting. They weren't doing it easy. SS could tell you about a game we stopped playing
UFC.
because we tore UFC because we tore up our arms. I think I was Michael Bestinger. He was a British guy. He showed up in Triple X 2 with Vin Diesel. But you had to do these circular motions
Mm.
with oh my God. We had to pause the game.
Relax our forearms.
We tired. Yo, we tired. And see, I couldn't even use my sneaky ability where I was like, okay, as soon as Dwayne say he's pausing, I'm gonna make him submit. My arm was tired too. I'm like, yo, we got rest. That's why in that game I built my character, which can also be played in Grand Theft Auto 5. That's how they do. You could build your character to knock people out, right? So that's why I built my UFC fighter not to do submissions because of this whole.
You remember way back in like the 80s, we had this game. I think it's called it was like some kind of Olympic game on NES that had
Track
arm
and
wrestling
field?
in it.
Yeah, track and field.
Track and field.
Was track and field the one that had arm wrestling in it?
Yeah, track and field had arm
And
wrestling,
had the power
Olympic
pad.
swimming, track, and it had the
And do you
power.
remember? Do you remember how you had to like press the button like to like win? And like you used to hold the control like that, like.
Nah, my mom got me the arcade stick. That shit was too fast for her.
You know what game had that in it too? Mortal Kombat. In like the towers, they had the same thing.
Yep, you have to press the button as fast as possible.
Or you have to be precise when it comes to slice the person. Yeah.
I still remember Dane Cookie for you brought up Metal Gear Solid. When Metal Gear Solid was on the PlayStation, in order to get one of the endings, he had to survive the shock thing where he was getting shocked and he interrogated, and you had to press the buttons fast. So I would call this guy to press it because he had them fast. And press his button fast.
Call him over to your house so that he could press button and leave.
Because you remember we had memory cards back then, right? And we would save a certain section of the game.
He run over by his friend's house. Quick, pass this part for me.
Yeah, pass this part for me.
And then take it back out, take it home.
Yeah, pass the part, then we do it. And again, we weren't getting no achievement points, and I counted them as my achievements. Dane Cookie, you could come at me. It's all right. If I witnessed you pass, this was long before all these kids and young people on YouTube watch these games and act like they played it. No, I played the game. I witnessed the person playing the game in the same.
That's not the same thing.
I am taking the achievement. It's a co-achievement.
Because you had to commute over to their house so that they can pass it for you. So you contributed.
Or they commuted to my house. We played. It's all right. It's all right.
That means you ain't contribute crap. Because you didn't even leave your house.
No, I had the same thrill as if we were watching a movie, a thriller. He's about to.
That's fair. Because I used to love watching other people play games. You remember when we used to like chill out and just watch? I remember we used to go over to Kalal's house and just watch him play video games. Be like, no, just backseat driving the whole time. It's like, no, go left. He's like, no,
no.
And his sense of direction was just as bad with games that had two options. It was just left and right, and he still used to get the direction wrong. He's the only person I know who can play Mario, get almost to the flag, and actually find himself back at the beginning of the game.
That's a real thing back then.
But
that's not back then. It's still an issue. The best example of how I get lost is a game that I played every one from the beginning, Call of Duty. There's a map called Nuketown. And I tell you, I've played every iteration of Nuketown, and I still get lost every time I spawn. I'm like, where am I? I have to
Yeah,
walk
I look at
for,
the house.
okay, here I am. Go get it.
And
Every
Newtown is just across the street. So
yeah,
that's
it's just
like,
across the
It's
street.
not even. It's dude. Listen,
It's across the street.
you
But like so
literally
much stuff
take
runs through
five
my head when I
steps and you're on the
spawn.
other side of the map.
Yeah,
You
like
can
so
see
much
any
stuff run
part of
through
the
my head.
map.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what's the best strategy for where I am? This is like I'm spawning in. Where do I go? What's the best strategy? What gun should I use first? Should I sprint? Should I creep? Should I go? Then where am I? Okay, let me crop for. Okay, now I know I am. Then I know where to aim the gun. All of that
And by
happens in
then
my
he's
head
dead.
before I move. So that's why I'm always just lost. Like, oh shit, and then gone again.
Yeah,
but
if you want
Oracle,
to
you
win a
brought up,
game,
you
if you want
brought
to
up
win
a
that
good point.
game, all you have to do is spawn lock him. Like every time he spawns, just shoot him because he needs a second to like look around and be like, "Where the hell am
Exactly. I know there's green
I?"
versus yellow, but yo, even when I spawn, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know where I am.
But Oracle, you bring up a good point. Co-gaming was, see, that's when the technology was even better because you had co-people playing, directing you, helping you with the game
Mm,
right next to you. Yo, let's try this. Let's try that. I did that with what was that game? Biohazard.
Hmm.
mm.
That game was good.
With the big
That was with
mamas.
no, that's with the is am I saying it the am I saying the right game? It's with Big Daddy. Look
Big
that up.
Daddies, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's Biohazard. Bioshock?
Mm.
Biohazard, yeah. Bioshock. There you go.
Bioshock, yeah.
This,
Bioshock.
see, that's my brain telling me something else. Seeing the pattern where there's no pattern. Bioshock. That game right there was beautiful. Me and Soul Ravenous played that game. It was scary too. It was haunting. Remember when you used to have a scary game and walk down the hallway? You getting scared just as much. We added the entertainment. We added the graphics. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
But
Now,
so
now you don't have that. You got people. It's good. We're more connected. We got people in 3 rooms. But again, the game was already going back to my first point. The game was already ready to play,
uh,
so we could get into these extra stuff.
but here's the
Now
thing,
we need to eat a pizza, play a game.
Khalil, I have a
Mhm.
question. Didn't you beat The Legend of Zelda?
A long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yes.
So my question for you is, how? Since you have the sense of
Maps.
direction of a
They had so in a previous episode we talked about game magazines like Game Informer and Game Pro and stuff like that. They
Nintendo
had
Power.
full maps. Just follow
Yes.
the map. And when I tell you, and it
so
wasn't
okay,
just
got it.
follow the
So
map,
you
like
so
it was
you would
literally
just you subscribe to Nintendo to that Nintendo Power
I
magazine.
bought it in Van Dorp. Oh no, okay, bought in Van Dorp. Anyway, friggin' maps. You understand? If it said go up, one footstep, one footstep. Another
Hello is
footstep
the
up,
only person I know that
left.
can name drop Van Dorp.
Van Dorp.
For those of you who don't know, we grew up on a Dutch island, and Van Dorp, which, if you translate it, just means
From
from the
town.
town, was a shop where you can buy like magazines and like uh, writing equipment and just all kinds of. It's just like a stationery store.
Stationary store, yeah.
But like, yeah, the fact that you name dropped that because I don't even think does that even exist anymore. I don't think I've
I
been to the
don't think it.
Netherlands and
I
seen
actually I
one.
don't. See, I haven't been there in so long. I don't know.
It
Again,
was
that goes back to episodes where we think about things that don't exist, that existed, that were very vital to
Mhm.
whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
You're talking about, for me, that's like talking about Dragon's Den. That's talking about like
Mhm.
Funko Land when they were important. Uh, Game Informer, like you would go to Funko Land, buy a game, and get like a 6 month subscription. Do you want a six
Mhm.
month free subscription? And that thing would come to your house, and you would read it like it was magic. You
Yeah.
would see the games. You weren't seeing the games again. I'm not being disparaging against Twitch or YouTube. I'm just
Mhm.
saying you weren't seeing it on YouTube. You saw vivid imagery where you had to turn the page and imagine what was going on. Try that. Try that.
what was the name of that game you used to play on paper that was like that?
On
Like you used to have
paper.
to choose your own adventure, and then like
Are
you'd
you talking
get
about
like a
Dungeons and
stack of
Dragons?
papers. No,
No,
it
no,
was
no,
in
no.
the, it
What?
was
Oh,
Dragon
we
Quest,
gotta
or
look that up. I remember that book.
like you'd get a piece of paper and you'd start here, and then you'd be like three different options, like running around this and
I
doing that. You
remember. I know
follow
what
the
the book.
option. You get to choose one, two, or three. If you chose the wrong one, you turn the page, you died.
Oh God.
Yeah, I remember those. But funny you should mention Vanda. It looks like the one we had in St. Martin was like it sounds like that was the only one.
No, there was two locations. The one on the pond,
No,
and
no,
then there
no,
was
no, no, no. I mean so the one that we had on St. Martin was called Van Dorp Edin,
mhm. Yeah.
and it's the only place that had one was St. Martin.
Woohoo! We had
Oh,
our own franchise, baby.
so
Two
so the book.
stores.
So the book that you just mentioned was literally called Choose Your Own Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Choose your adventure, your own
It was
adventure.
called Game Books. Choose Your Own
Okay.
Adventure. I remember those. You talk about you couldn't
We used
follow
to
directions.
also get those from Van
Van Dorp.
Dorpenien.
Oracle, you talk about not following directions. I
Mhm.
used to just read through the whole thing, so I didn't know I was choosing go to page 7, page 1, go to page 9.
What?
He thought he thought he was just reading a book.
No, no, no. You know when like
He's like, this book is exciting.
so like when they leave you to your own devices after you get like one or two of those.
Mm.
I just started reading the whole thing straight through.
So you always won, basically.
Yeah.
Always one. Yeah. And then when I played the game, like just like a lot of games where you learn from your buddies, because again, you didn't have YouTube aids, you didn't have nothing. So you always needed somebody who knew something a little bit more than you to say, hey, just like Street Fighter Anniversary Edition, 25th
Mm.
edition, that's when I learned how to do Hadougens, how to do hurricane kicks. I played the game for 20 years like everybody else.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to do none of that. I was a button mash up. I don't care what nobody say. Left, right.
Hold on. I'm gonna just repeat with in chronological order what he just said. I play a Street Fighter. I learned how to do Hadoukens on the 25th year anniversary, but I've been playing the game for 20 years. I was a button masher. He just said that he was a button masher for 20 years before he learned how to do the Hadouken.
Because I didn't
On the
have like
25th year anniversary of the game. You know how
so
crazy of a timeline that is?
before SS, we didn't really like play the fighting game. Like people played it, but it was separate. It was always,
Mhm.
did you play Street Fighter? In the pizzeria.
Mhm.
I smelled the pepperoni in the pizza, so I didn't remember about a Dugan Tiger uppercut. I'm just blah 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 blah. I better not spend too many quarters before I pay the pizza man for his pizza slice either, because that had happened. That had
And
happened. I had a friend that spent his game in the arcade before the pizza was ready because the slices wasn't even ready. The guy had to bake the
yeah,
bake.
if the pizza place was smart, they would collect money before they started making that pizza when there's like a gaming console inside the pizzeria.
Well, yeah,
But
people started learning after that. You know,
we, when we used to play Street Fighter, we used to have training sessions where we used to sit there and go Hadouken, 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 just to be able to get that you like no matter what situation you were in, you need to be able to pull off a Hadouken. You have to get that
Yep.
timing down. Before we used to hold Street Fighter competitions back home. And like you remember we used to collect money and be like, okay, the
Yep.
winner gets this.
The winner gets the pot. Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, we used to go outside, and the winner was always like this amongst the same three people because
Yeah.
we just used to go to get together and have like these serious like training sessions to perfect the Hadouken. Like we'd start off by making it by being able to do any of the moves like on the spot. And then after that, we used to be like, okay, I'm gonna knock you down, and then when you get up, you have to do this. And they'd be like,
Mhm.
yeah, let's do it, and then practice until we perfect that timing. Then the next thing, okay, when this happens, you have to do this. Let's perfect that timing. Yeah, we used to,
Mhm.
yeah, we used to go
but see,
training sessions.
again, we're talking about, and I guess this was a topic that was bound to happen. We're talking about group gaming like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
With Street Fighter, I didn't have that game until later in my life. The group experience where everybody was like, well, you know this move, you know that move, and iron sharpened iron in that game. Remember, I said I still had 20 years experience, so I'm still a vet of the game. I'm a vet, but I'm like, look, I don't know if you could see it, but you see that thumb, that callus, that's the original Nintendo callus. None of this gel. Oh, gel pad, elite controller. No, hard plastic. These thumbs. I did not suck my thumb, people.
It was
This
too
was
hard.
this was a video game injury. Maybe if I knew about these lawsuits like they do today, man, maybe I would have had me some Nintendo lawsuits because this was a hurtful injury, man. You couldn't do a lot of things right in between the joint.
I remember, like, dude, I'm pretty sure that some of those controllers used to cause arthritis because I remember sometimes after a gaming session, like you'd get up and your thumb would be like,
and it didn't have no bend either. It didn't have no bend, and there was no advice. There was no advice on how to hold it. You know, but because of my love of games, personal story right here, when we started looking up for like patents and stuff, there was actually a patent somebody had for the thumb glove, the gaming thumb glove. So basically,
really?
for Caribbeans here, you know, your grandmothers, when they were sewing, they would probably cut a latex glove and put that thing over their hand because it was a natural, yeah, we're not going to get.
No, my grandma used to use a thimble.
Or
yeah, but if
thimble.
you didn't, but if you didn't have a thimble,
But if you didn't
She was hardcore. She used to be like, yeah.
Now, along those lines, because of Street Fighter and like a lot of the friction on my hands, I once bought gloves, like actual gloves, and the friction burnt through the thumb on the gloves. Just burned through the glove in like a week.
To be clear,
that was a dumb idea.
I don't know how Kal-El plays, but Kal-El used to burn through the actual thumb
Not
pad
used to,
of his joystick.
still do. So this is an elite controller. This is after you burn off. This is how it starts with like completely rubber. And as you can see, it's already burning off. This is completely burnt off. That's from playing fighting games. My thumbs get so hot, it just burns off the rubber.
So he's like, mine practice safe sets is what Jay's tried to say. It's all covered in rubber.
This rubber. This. Pause. Let's go. Pause. Advocate the safe, whatever. But pause. This is how
it's all covered
SS sounds when he's playing the game. And you hear him sounding like he's breaking the controller, man. He even sound obese. You see him?
Listen, hey, it used to be insane. We would be there playing the game, and through the headset, you could tell when SS was in trouble, right? We'd be playing games like Destiny, and like it'd be quiet, and all you could hear is like SS's fan just blowing through and it just gives you this calming feeling. And all of a sudden, you know when SS found something to fight because you'd say,
let's back up. Just say SS is in trouble. Well, I'm gonna say when SS is ultra focused, close to the finish line, and he's not letting the jaws of defeat snatch away victory. The controller be boom, 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 boom. Now this guy is a slight man in real life. SSJ we talking about. We ain't talking about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a Hulk. I'm a bold. I'm like a thing. This guy's a slight man. And again, I'm not attacking obese people. But when he's playing hard on the controller, I think them fingers is like Sasquatch. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? And when you're hearing it in Bose, Turtle Beach's headsets, high advanced headsets, it don't sound, it'd be like. And then
I gotta carry. I gotta win. You gotta get a win.
It sounds like instead of like him playing the game, it sounds like he was in the game all of a sudden. Like, it's like,
it was like,
Cal, you're supposed to play the game, not be the game.
I know this movie came out a few weeks ago, but it's like the thing saying it's clobbering time because it was. And then you know what it used to do. So because most of these games we're playing are team oriented, he starts going on the pressure. Then I'm like, yo, my fingers need to move a little faster too. Then I forget what the hell I'm pressing, and all I hear from the left side, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I was getting hype like you. But
I
Mordecai,
remember we got together in New York once, and we were going to play a game, and it was like the it was for like four people, and I knew Khalil had like four controllers. Was this on St. Martin or was this in New York?
well, at any given time, we had
But
back
yeah,
in the
he had
day,
like
we had
four
four.
controllers, and like all of a sudden he had three, and I was like, "Hey, where's the fourth controller?"
No, no,
Khalil broke it. Like I'm surprised just from playing the game, the controller broke. I'm surprised Khalil doesn't have like Popeye arms because
I'm just a
no,
regular
no,
guy.
so in essence, back in those days, there was a lot of controllers that were like half broken. Some by
I have
manufactured error.
never broken a controller in my life.
You barely
Kal-El
play
got
anything.
Popeye arms.
So you have to
No,
have multiple. So like
back
this is
then,
for fighting
back
games
then.
only. This is for fighting games, but then this is for less stressful games like Rivals and shit like that. See, it's Christmas
Because
here.
you will
But
break it.
no, no, when it's go time, it's go like I even have to
Because
repair replaceable parts and everything that see
because my old
look,
budget,
this
my
is the
old
metal
budget.
part that I said the rubber burnt off of. This is the rubber that burnt off of it. My fingers melted it. That's a shit. You gotta get in there.
And you never even
So
bothered to take it
listen,
off.
listen.
You're
I
like,
didn't know. I
you're
didn't realize.
like,
When
he's
video
like,
game
my
accessories
my
were
controller is still protected because it still has
I
all the
didn't
rubber.
realize.
no,
I don't have
no, no.
time to be
Like listen,
focusing on that. Just go.
back in the day when controllers were cheap, when controllers were like $20 or 40, and it was still expensive to us back then. But when they were $20, it was yeah. We used to buy Intech, Mad Cats, all these different secondary controllers, which you don't see that much today, other than Scuff, right? But now that this thing costs as much as a system, my days being too rough is like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
This is it. You
I'm
know what
very
I'm saying?
gentle with my controllers now.
And those controllers actually have changing parts, probably because of people like SS. Hey, we need to get further grip. This is going past scuff. We need to get further grip. I need to change this analog stick. So now we buy this magnetic thing and then we buy the other parts for $20. So it all comes full circle. 1 minute controller was $20, the whole complete controller. And I remember when we used to break controllers, not only just as, and when I say break controllers, people, I mean from actually playing, not frustration, not rage quitting. You know, maybe a couple drop.
That's what I meant. Whenever he plays, he like normal people play with their fingers. Khalil plays with his whole body. He's like,
Yeah, I mean, that was the first. I mean, whole body video game playing, that had to be from like 1977
he
to.
doesn't even need exercise. Just
That's how I
playing
stay fit.
video games gives him all the exercise because even his toes move. Like,
Yep. And I know SS for a fact does not like platform games, but if he did, his whole body would jump.
I would jump.
how did
That's
speaking of
what
which,
probably
how
why.
did you how did you survive the Nintendo era?
I hated
Because
it.
like
I hated it
everything was
because
a
it was a
platform
platform game.
game
And
except Fester's Quest.
my issue with it is the depth perception thing. That's literally what it is. I have serious issues with my depth perception, and so that's why if I play games like Smite and stuff like that, in first person shooters that you could pick characters that do melee attacks versus targeted attacks. I never pick a melee attack character because I'm always like this far and I'm hitting, and the person's like right here, and I'm like I'm supposed to be hitting that. I'm just not close enough. I have horrible depth perception. So yeah.
He is a ranged expert.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say again, it helps you out with the therapy. Used to do a lot of co-gaming. Once again, all of these things were just general fun. You didn't know you were having fun, like him breaking the controllers. Back in the day, he would have a special controller.
I have a question.
What's the question?
Didn't we have a topic that we started off with?
It was supposed to be Grand Theft Auto 6.
The topic was Grand Theft Auto.
And it was supposed to be the price.
Have we even talked about Grand
Yes,
Theft?
we did.
We didn't even. No, you stopped at
we
5.
Oracle. No, we did. Hold on. We're about to talk about 6.
We did
We're
not
about to
talk about
No. Let me tell you why it's funny. Let me tell you
No,
why.
I refuse to let you get on topic
I'm gonna
now.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you. You know why? Because that's the essence of Grand Theft Auto.
Yes,
Everything in one, nothing great. It's a confluence. There goes your word of the day, Oracle. a confluence of things in Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto had Midnight Club in there. Not to mention, Rockstar made Midnight Club, but they had a little Midnight Club. They
Wait,
are
there's a
going to
Midnight Club
put
too?
in the future Grand Theft Auto, they're going to put a pickup
NBA
game.
Street, baby.
NBA. So there's going to be people that buy the game and say this is a better NBA game than
NBA 2K.
another game that Take-Two
I'm
makes.
calling names.
Right? And guess what? I hope Rockstar stays on this beautiful thing, but they don't have to buy a bandana, a virtual bandana for $5. A bandana in real life costs like $2.99 or $3.99. You know, if
What's
you
the
know.
bandana thing?
So the bandana thing in NBA 2K is that it costs $5 to buy the virtual cash to buy the bandana, to actually purchase the bandana, not a character, something you're gonna put on your head. Which reminds me of another game where SS was just messing around.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Paint on the car. I had money in this game, not real money. See, that's another good thing that the old days had. Technology wasn't backward. We had video game money in the video game that we didn't have to use real cash. I went to the bathroom or somewhere downstairs.
You went to the bathroom?
I don't know where I was. And
You went to the bathroom?
ladies and gentlemen, yes, this was a number 2. This was a number 2. I remember it exactly. It was a number 2. So I took a little extra long because when you got to come back, you got guests, you know what you need to do. And this a plug. You know what I'm saying?
Please tell me he did not.
So,
No.
So SS over here was tick, 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 changing the colors at like $1,200 to $1,500 a pop.
I was just putting his car like really bright colors. First, I made it like a bright orange, then a bright green, and then I said, "What? I want to make it a bright pink." And I'm just spray painting the car, not realizing that it cost money. I use his whole bank account to spray the car.
And guess what? The car was left on pink like I was Mary Kay. I was like, oh my God, like I was a Mary Kay general or superstar out there.
For those people who don't know,
Mary Kay, that's a makeup company that used to be around. I think it's still around, but they used to give out people pink cars when you reach a certain level.
At that point, I hope you took him to the diner to make up for that.
No, we ate.
Because the best way to make up for that is through chicken.
No. Oracle, but it was the way he said sorry. Oh, like you could tell. This was like, oh, that was the red button. I didn't even know the red button was there.
That was definitely deserving of some chicken.
And guess what? The pink he picked, he was in metallic. He was in all the beautiful colors. All of a sudden,
metallic hot pink.
No, all of a sudden he picked a matted pink. It was matted. It was matte. I'm like, yo, you was in.
You didn't even choose the shiny one, man. The shiny one you can rock.
That's because the money was finished. Couldn't afford the shiny.
You couldn't afford the shiny.
That's what I still feel bad to this day, and that was at least 20 years ago. I still feel horrible because
and that was
messing with the colors. I didn't realize that.
You're lucky he didn't bring out the character in the game that held you up and was like, bitch, where's my money?
Yo.
That's hilarious.
And those are games that didn't have any ratings. I think we were somewhere in school and somebody said, yo, this game, Racer Zero, X Zero,
Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero X.
So yeah, well, whatever the name he just said, somebody said it was good. It was $20. Put it in. Game was ready to play from the beginning. From the beginning, game was ready to play when we put it in, and we had fun. And all we did in that game was basically drive straight and drive left. There was no real direction.
Yeah. You drive around the 2 highways in Tokyo. That's it. It's just big loops, and you just cut through traffic.
Like, you were changing the color. Every time you change the color, it costs money. Doesn't it give you like a preview?
It wasn't a
no. You just pick the color. This is back into this was like PS2 or something like that. So it wasn't no big preview. It's like you select the color and it changes the color. And I was just going color. Nah, color. Nah, color. That's all I was doing. And I was like, I'm gonna make it pink. Pink.
See, that's a future.
That's
all
I
want. I'm talking about.
Bad game design.
It's from back in the day.
Bad game design anyway. But yeah, that was
But you
Nintendo,
remember
and
that you remember you
like
couldn't do
those days, bad game design was like like you complain a lot about the games that we have now, and yes, I do agree with every complaint that games like you wait too long for the game to launch, the game comes out, it's not finished. After waiting all those, why don't they just shut up about it? Back in the
Because they
day
have to
when,
keep the shareholders interested in the
yes,
company.
they have to keep the shareholders interested. But
but what about the
I
stakeholders,
know
the real
several
stakeholders, the
indie
players?
game developers who are now who live here in Washington who are now like very wealthy because they just shut their mouth, and then when the game was ready, they came out and they were like, "Hey, you know what? I'm releasing this game on this date." And you know what happened? On that date, the game was released. And you know what happened? They made lots of money and all the customers were happy.
Mhm.
And you
It
didn't have
works.
mega 1 day patch.
All this nonsense about, hey, you know what, we want to get early indications of if people like the game, and hey,
Mhm.
you gotta do this to get early indication. Back in the day when Nintendo released the game, it just surprised you. It was like, hey, look, here's a game, bah.
And
Like there was
sometimes,
no, and I don't know if you know, right, but Nintendo still is one of the gaming companies that still release high quality games.
Mhm.
You see
yeah, but
that
now
for all the other consoles. You know
they're
who you do
throwing
not
into
see
high
that issue with?
quality jerks. Now they're throwing into high quality jerks because I don't like what they. I'm not playing no Switch. I didn't play Switch 1. I'm not gonna play Switch 2, but I don't like what they're doing. But that's a different
That's a
argument.
different topic, and we
That's a
still
different.
haven't talked about what we were going to talk
All right, so
about.
let's talk about Grand Theft Auto.
But
Before
before
we
we
go
do
on to
that,
Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to give an example of what Oracle was just talking about. That games just came out. Uh, I had a copy of Street Fighter Alpha 2, and I was playing it, main game at the time that I was playing. A friend of mine, you might have seen him in some clips from a previous episode, the Gnome. He just came over to my house and he brought Alpha 3. I didn't even know that game was coming out. It was just there. I was so excited. I think this was a Sega Dreamcast or Sega Saturn. Can't remember what system it was. I was so excited. I opened the system and I just threw Alpha 2 up in the air. It hit the ceiling fan and shattered. And I only had Alpha 2. And Alpha 3 is was Gnome's game. So we played it and then I didn't have a Street Fighter for a while. So that's how excited I got to realize something just came out that I didn't even know existed.
but it was a good feeling. You see, now
Yeah,
they do. You think they do all this advertisement to like gather interest? No, they do all this advertisement and stuff to gauge interest.
yeah.
And when they gauge interest, and then they say, okay, yeah, I'm going to spend money on that. But the problem is, by the time they gauge the interest, and then years pass before the game actually comes out,
Hmm.
people
Interest is
lose
And,
gone.
interest.
but but but
Just
even when they
make the
weren't
damn
even
game, and
when
if
they
it works,
weren't
it works. If
gauging
it doesn't, it
interest.
doesn't. Sorry, you might lose your money, but guess what? When you do that
Cyberpunk.
nonsense,
Yep. And sometimes again, oversaturated. That's why you won't see us actually review a game. We're just telling you about the fun factors of the games. Because, like as I said, the gnome came over with a new game. You had that new game smell. You had that excitement. You looked at the cover. You did not know if the game was whack, bad, good, in between, nothing off.
It was Street Fighter. Street Fighter. It
It
was
but
was
I'll tell you
everything.
something.
Street Fighter was
Even
good.
even if the game was bad, you would likely still play it because you paid money for it.
Yeah, but who's actually telling you it's bad today now?
because
Before the game
because
comes out, you have
I remember going over to Khalil's house to play Fester's Quest a couple of times, and you had to see the sheer frustration Khalil used to experience with Fester's Quest. That's why I keep bringing it up because that was something that I just
yeah. Look,
always remember.
I
Him and
gotta
his
look at that.
brother used to be struggling with Fester's Quest. And the thing about it is, like most games at that time were exactly like Fester's Quest. They're just these nonsensical things that just used to frustrate you. All of the Nintendo games had this.
Mhm.
Let me give you an example. In Fester's Quest, you had this gun that shot this zigzag pattern. It was like incredibly good gun. But if you stand too close to a wall, the bullet would just run into the wall, and then you shot nothing.
Mhm.
So it was just like, and everywhere you went in Fester's Quest was a narrow hallway. So you had the best gun in the world, and you couldn't use it throughout half the game. Made absolutely no sense. But you know what? He still played that game.
So,
or another example, dude. I'm gonna say something here that some people might say is blasphemy, right? But forgive me. But the first Metroid game, I
It
don't
was
know if
just
you
hard.
remember this. No, 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 no. Let me tell you why it was hard. Because you had a gun, but you could not kneel and shoot
Mhm.
because the down button did what?
Put aim down.
Put you in a, no, it turned you into a ball.
Oh yes, the water. Yes, exactly.
So the
I
down
thought you
button
were going to
turned you into
say
a ball.
that the reason why it was so hard to play is because you're a woman, and it's always harder to play a game as a
Yeah,
woman.
but
But
but but they
continue.
actually hid the fact that there was a woman until you passed the
Until you
game.
pass the game, yeah, that's what I
The
said at
first
that
one.
moment.
So no one knew that
Mhm.
Samus was actually a woman. Samus Aran was actually a woman,
Mhm.
and no one knew that. And so anyway, and even the name was just like it was a unisex game, like a name.
Exactly.
So like no
Mhm.
one knew that Samus was a woman, which I
Mhm.
thought was amazing.
I thought that was genius. Yeah.
It was sheer genius.
oh,
But
Miss Great in that game with the long flowing hair. I didn't. But you
but
see, we were playing the game and not even knowing that because it was an invasion, right? We came there, Metroid. We investigated. We were blowing up,
yeah,
and
but
now I
but
look back at it. It's Ripley from Alien.
yeah, it was actually modeled after like the whole concept of Metroid was based on like the Alien franchise. But the thing that was frustrating, right, is that you started off the game and you had a gun that strongly resembles a pea shooter. And the second weapon you got was was to shoot missiles because you need the missiles to be able to open up the red doors.
Mhm.
And like when you are standing, all of the enemies were shorter than the level
True.
you shot at, and you couldn't duck to shoot at them. So the gun you had was useless. So how you had to kill the enemies was you had to play until you got the bombs that you can let out when you open the ball. And then the only way you could kill the enemies was to roll up in a ball and lay down bombs. And the gun was useless unless you're fighting a boss.
Mhm.
So, like, what was the point of having the pea shooter in the first place? All the enemies were shorter than what you could shoot at. That was just like nonsensical difficulty in the game because the mechanics were just. Sorry, I know everyone loves Metroid. I love Metroid too, but the mechanics was kind of bullshit. I'm just going to
Oh,
call it.
that. But back then, again,
Mhm.
the kindergarten baby knowledge first encounter game. We weren't worried about that.
Oh no! From day one, I was frustrated with the game. But I also have this thing of when I start something, I need to finish. I need to at least finish the what do you call it? Like
Main storyline.
the story, the main storyline.
Mhm.
And so I played so many really, really, really bad games just so I can finish it, like Fester and
Well,
Flood.
again, that is what this argument is about what Grand Theft Auto does,
Mm,
because that is a goal-oriented thing that people don't. We had normal frustration, and remember, games coming out back then, 70s and
mm,
80s, was based on the 90-minute quarter theory for the arcade. Like they
Mhm.
had, or 90 seconds, sorry. They had
mm,
to be putting in a quarter every 90 seconds. The game was designed that
Mhm.
way in the arcades.
mm.
Then when we got home, we had to learn about frustration, but something about a game would make us play the game again and beat it. Or
Yep.
like I said, a magazine would have a map or a code
Mhm.
or something that would help you beat it. And a game back then, you could leave a game for 3 months, come back, but it's still the
There's a
same.
game like that. The game that comes to mind immediately is Bionic Commando. We couldn't figure out how to pass the first stage. Like we're like, what the fuck? We did, and we're shooting this
It
bionic
was
arm, bionic
there.
arm, bionic arm, bionic arm, bionic arm. Couldn't figure it out. Like years passed, and then we said, "Oh my god, the bionic arm have to go straight up the middle and grab something, and it pulls you up to the next level." And when I tell you years passed, just all over the map, jumping, flipping, don't know what to do. Fuck this game. On to the next. Just like.
Yep, yep. I distinctly and that was just Nintendo because I know if
Mhm.
you we'll go back to our dear friend Samus. Um, to pass that game and to get all the things you need to win that game, you had to arbitrarily know what part of the game has a wall that you can shoot and break through, or bomb and blow up, or like all these little secret areas that you had to find. That was just like there is no part of Metroid where there's a wall that didn't have a top secret thing you can do, like some secret thing
Mhm.
you can do, and you had to get all these things to pass the game. So it was
Mhm.
kind of like the challenge in the game was more in the obfuscation of or finding these obfuscated like secret
Mhm.
rooms.
Obfuscated. There goes another word.
Oh Lord.
This is my Pee Wee Herman moment. I thought confluence was going to be the big thing I learned today.
We gotta have
Obfuscated.
sticks and celery. Yeah, like on Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's the word of the day. Every time you say it,
Can you tell me obfuscated and what the hell does that mean? I know what it means, but tell the
Wait,
audience
wait. But what makes you think the audience doesn't know what obfuscated means?
because I haven't heard the word in over 25 years. I'm talking about obfuscated.
Okay, so
Soliloquy. You know what I'm saying? You went on a soliloquy right there, and then you wrote out the word obfuscated.
but it's not a soliloquy if I was actually saying it. Now, if I could just mind meld and like just pass it on to you guys, it would be a
Exactly.
soliloquy.
But can I get the definition, please? Can I get the definition?
So
I'm up here.
uh, it's to make unclear or render unclear, to make like to make it no longer transparent or easy to understand. I
But
think it also has like another meaning as well, where it means to like intentionally confuse somebody. Like if you intentionally confuse somebody, it's also called to obfuscate. But like no one actually uses that form.
but you see,
By the way,
you had
in
well,
case people are wondering why Jay actually like makes fun of me and my words, is because I have a thing for etymology, and so um, Jay's like, okay, now explain that word. No, I have a thing for
no,
the.
you explained that word. The reason why, listen, first of all, I'm not making fun. We're learning, we're having fun. But this is what we grew up with. Hearing people say some words and be like, yo, the teacher didn't say that. In class. So where are we going? We had a thesaurus. We didn't have Google to go Google everything. So sometimes some of our friends, like Oracle, Chin
Yep,
Chin,
yep.
they
No,
would all say these words, and you'd be sitting there. But see, I used to
well,
learn the word
hold on. We remember the first word of the day?
confluence, right? I
No, no,
thought
no,
that,
no. I mean the first one we ever had on the show.
who the hell? I didn't remember what I had for breakfast, and I had it, and it was a good. No, I actually remember what I had for breakfast, and
It
that's why
began with the word auto.
auto. What's it? Autogram? Auto.
No. Auto antonym.
Oh, that's when I called it animantium. Yeah, I remember.
Adamantium.
I was like, yo, are we talking about anti because that's the only one I knew. Autoantium.
Okay, so contronym might be easier to remember, but yeah, I have a fascination with the etymology of words, and so yeah, sometimes they slip out. Sorry.
No, but that's good. You see, you needed the fancy word because back then they had to use designs because they didn't have graphics and things to make it easy to do certain things. So they're like,
Mm.
hey, we're gonna put everything in a wall and we're gonna make a. They were the king of Easter eggs that weren't Easter eggs because you had to do it.
Mhm.
That's where the magazines came in, the Nintendo Powers and stuff. Like,
Speaking
huh?
of Easter eggs, speaking of Easter or the game GD. Speaking of Easter eggs, what was your favorite? Wait, sorry. First, can we get back on topic, please?
All right, Grand
Grand
Theft
Theft
Auto
Auto
6. Say it.
6. All right. The thing that we were supposed to talk about with Grand Theft Auto 6 was the two massive numbers. One number for the amount of money that it costs to make the game, which is two.
Allegedly.
It's there's more and more paperwork coming out every week that says that these numbers are real. But it said that it cost them $2 billion to make that game. And the thing is that the thing that they always compare it to is the Burj Khalifa that it cost 1.2 or 1.3 billion dollars to make. So Grand Theft Auto 6 cost more than that. And then the other big number is the projected sales. It's projected to sell 80 million copies in the first week, which will bring in $7 billion in revenue in the first week. The biggest movies.
Wait, wait, hold on. That doesn't. I don't think that adds up. If it costs 1.5 bill, if it sorry, Burj Khalifa
Mhm,
is 1.6 billion, but
mhm.
if the game costs 2 point, how much?
This is over 2 billion right now to make
If it
so far
costs over 2 billion and they
Mhm.
made 80 million in the first week,
in
how is
sales.
that in sales?
So one of the things
Do you
is
mean
that
80 million profit in sale or 80 million in
All
sale?
right, wait, hold on. Before
no, in profit, they're saying they're going to make 7 billion in profit, but they're expecting a minimum of 80 million from pre-sales alone. They're already at 80 million pre-sales. That's how I think the game. So another thing is the game was supposed to come
Oh,
out
so
this
okay, I
year.
got it. They project to make
It's
it
projecting,
that
yeah.
much in. Okay,
This
got it.
game was supposed to come out this year, so people are already prepping for this year. It was postponed until next year. So more people are like, look, this is this, blah. So it's gonna be
so,
wild.
Did you
so remember what I
pre-purchase to get your free
No,
skin?
but so you can't pre-purchase it yet because that's one of the things that still they're working on is the price. It said that it's gonna cost $100 to buy the basic version of the game. So, but no, all of that is just like rumors and crap like that. So we're just patiently waiting.
I
But the
mean,
day
right
that it goes
Do
on
you
pre-sale,
remember?
now, buy more games
Do you
and sell.
remember when? Do you remember when a game used to cost $20?
hell yeah,
When it hit a million copies on
We
PlayStation, I
used
was
to, we used to, we
yeah.
used to, we used to go and we used to work our butts off to get $20 to go buy a game. Now a game costs $60, and you're trying to tell
Unless you're on
me they are
Nintendo, I think it's
now.
80 on Nintendo now.
80 on
And
Nintendo.
so now what I'm hearing you say, and most people like they pre-order the game and then they get like this deluxe edition of the game that
Mhm.
costs like, but like now they're saying this game they're opening up a whole new world where it's acceptable to charge $100 for a
Well,
game.
I don't. So like you
Game
said, it was
inflation.
rumored, right? But let's take something like Marvel Rivals, which is a model I think everybody should start going back to follow.
You mean
Game came
free?
back. Game came back absolutely free. All the characters are available, but they still made 30 million in the first week
Yeah, but
because
on what?
on skins.
Yeah,
You don't even
exactly.
have to buy skins.
Dude, that's the same model that
Fortnite.
that's I was gonna say Smite.
Mhm.
No, but no.
But Fortnite too, all of them. Like that's the same
Smite
model.
does it. Smite
Smite
does it,
sells
but
skins.
Marvel has all these comic books. And they have all these skins and these different drawings of different heroes that you actually see in Smite. You go, oh yeah, that costume looks good. With Marvel Rivals, you say that's the costume I grew up
How much did you invest in costumes so far on Marvel Rivals, Cal?
Me? I
Yeah.
don't spend any money on Marvel Rivals.
How much did you spend on Smite skins?
A lot.
with. Probably over a thousand. Not
all
me.
all
No,
I'm
but the
saying
only
all I'm
reason
saying is
the only reason on
yeah.
Marvel Rivals I don't spend any money is because that's what Jay was about to get to is you could actually play the game to unlock enough currency to get the specific skins that you want. And I don't
Correct.
play with all the characters. So
Mm,
like I don't play with Spider-Man at all, but the
mm.
skin that I like from him is the symbiote skin and it just came out and I'm like I'm getting that skin. So I have that skin and his original skin and he has like 10 skins, but I don't give a shit about none of the rest. I just wanted that skin. So I'll try to play with him now because of that skin. Other than that, I don't care.
But
So I'm
the
very
point I was trying to
specific.
make is
Mhm.
games probably make more money for a longer period of time if they go down the route of cosmetics
Mhm.
Well,
because
it's the
Marvel
same.
Rivals prove it. Smite ran for how many years?
Maybe
Smite ran
10.
for like 12 years before
But
they
Smite,
released.
Fortnite is still doing it, and Fortnite is like the Power Ranger
Yeah,
skin just came out, and that shit like blew up again. I'm like, yo.
yeah. Like it is possible. It's a typical example of where they can have free games, and all the rich people pay to support all the poor people playing along.
Mhm.
They can make. I mean,
that
it's the
sounds like
same. It's the same like the
that
open
sounds like
source model, right? You get
that sounds like
free
a plan.
stuff to use. You get
Mhm.
free stuff to use, but because you're using it so much, and all the major companies out there are using it so much, like it's popular. it gets support, but those companies that use it, they now depend on it. So they are willing to pay money to support it. And so that model works because big companies are paying to use this thing, and the developer of it just gives it out to free to everyone in the community. It
So,
works.
so what I like about Marvel Rivals, it doesn't require Xbox Pass. Either did Smite, so you don't have to do any investment. It brings back, even though there's a lot of hateration out there for Marvel Rivals because of some fake system, EOMM, whatever crap. It brought back the fun factor. You could play, so it's easy entry, right?
Mm.
All the characters are there, so you don't have to pick which character is the best, which character you're going to spend your money, right?
Like Street Fighter 6 that I went to go play Sagat this week, I had to rent him for an hour. What? Sagat should be free immediately. But continue, Jay.
Wait,
Exactly.
wait.
Uh-oh.
I do not believe what you just said,
Yeah.
because if what you said is true, then hold on, let me find some glasses. Does
Oh,
those
wait, hold
glasses
on,
need to
hold
come
on. Tag
off?
me, tag me. Raise your hand, raise your hand.
Jay, you're tagged.
Do you know how to raise your hand in this thing? Nah, we don't. Boom. There you go.
What the
What the
hell
hell
is
are we coming
Rick?
to? This is why I told you at the beginning that we were better back then. We had all the characters in the game. If a character was broken, it stayed broken. If a character was buff, it was buff. If a character was nerfed, it stayed nerfed. Now, yes.
Actually, Street Fighter was one of the first games I played where they actually pushed an update and nerfed the character.
Okay. However, we had these characters. Sagat is an element essence to the game. One of the original characters to the game where you said you don't even need to play him. You just had to have the ability to have him. First of all,
Wasn't Sagat the final boss of Fighting Street?
Yes,
yes.
Sagat was
The
original
very
boss.
first,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the very first like Street
Mhm.
Fighter game,
Mhm.
which was Fighting Street, right? I remember the name
it
being
depend.
backwards.
It was backwards,
Yeah, it was-
and then they re-released it as Street Fighter, like
Yeah.
just Street Fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that, the original character, like the original bad guy from the game, and they took that away from you. They made you
Mhm.
rent him.
You gotta, so
yeah,
because you have to pay for
rent
him.
all the new
But I'm
characters.
not buying a character for Street Fighter, and I'm not paying for the season because I don't care about none of the other characters. When Akuma came out, I played Akuma. Sagat's out, I played Sagat. But I'm not paying for that. So the other way I could do it, I could rent him for an hour. And I got
So,
2 games in that waiting for a game to connect with my connection.
You know
so
what Fighting Street what I'm reminded of the most about Fighting Street. Um, I remember it being one of the first games that I played. The second game that I played on the TurboGrafx 16.
Mm.
There were only 2 games.
Bonk,
Well, 3 games. Bonk was
Bonk,
also one of them.
Bonk, and then Friday the 13th.
No, Friday the 13th was NES, wasn't it?
No, Friday TurboGrafx 16.
Really?
Yeah,
Purple.
that was a horrible game too to beat.
yeah.
I remember that I remember there was a Friday the 13th for NES as well.
Maybe.
Could be. This is
Yeah,
why
that's
pictures need to be added to the podcast.
yeah. Yeah, I remember we got her because we used to be so into the console games that like I remember we got a Nintendo Entertainment System, and like it was we had so much fun with it. We were like, look, Sega released something, let's get that. Look, Nintendo released something else, let's get that.
Oh, wait a
Look,
minute.
TurboGrafx 16 released something. I don't even know who they are. Get
Yeah, who are those people? Who are those turbo people?
And like I remember,
Yeah.
So you could tell them. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you, Oracle. But here's another segue. The war is over between Xbox and Sony
Mhm.
because they are releasing games on each other's systems now. You
Yes.
brought that up, Oracle. So you saw the past and the future at the same time. For the
Mhm.
past was exclusives. Now they're like, wait, we need to make our money back. We need to get these people back. So they're releasing it on. Gears of War is now or will be on PlayStation
On the 28th.
on the 28th. Number one
Mhm.
selling in the Sony store. So I'm glad.
And for vice versa, God of War will be available on Xbox.
Hmm.
When is that
Yeah.
coming out?
That
The
is
same
that-
day. The same day. The same day the swap
Because
is
I want to
happening.
play Helldivers.
I'm not gonna lie though. Bonk was an awesome game.
Mhm.
You remember? Do you remember playing that? The top heavy
The
I
kid,
game.
just remember
that
he had a
kid, man, with a big
And
head.
then another game that I used to love from that was R-Type. I don't know if you remember that one.
A racing game, yeah.
Wait, what?
Isn't it? Isn't Super R type of the motor? It's either is it? Isn't it a racing game? I don't
No,
know if
it's
it's cars or bikes.
R-Type. R-Type was a game. Do you remember the game Gradius?
No,
yes.
I
I
don't.
remember
Grad.
Gradius.
They had a sequel to it called I think Space Force or something. I can't remember.
You see,
Gradius was a game. Was like a game. You're in a ship and like
you're
you and I,
shooting.
you
Yeah.
and I played Gradius together, Kalel.
I don't remember a lot of stuff that happened to me today.
And
Yeah,
the
we played Gradius. We
and
played Tennis.
the second, I think it was called Life Force or something like that, where you had two of the ships instead of just one. You could play together, or
I
something
know,
like I
I
can't
do know
remember.
what you're talking about, though. I do remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't remember the
Um,
name.
so R-Type was like that. It was a game where you had a spaceship and like you'd be shooting aliens and stuff. And I remember it being one of the best looking games like that. And you used to, when you level up, you'd get like a little red ball. And then you'd level the red ball up again, and it would become a bigger red ball and it'd
Mhm.
shoot along with you. And then you could also do things like shoot the red ball off and have it attached to the front of your ship, and
Yes,
then
I know
use to
exactly
protect
what
the
you're
front
talking
of your
about
ship
now.
from. Yeah.
And they re-released a game, and it was called Aegis Wing, and
Mhm.
that's on. It's still on Xbox now, so you can still play that with up to 4 players. That game is fun and a simple game, but
Mhm.
it's out again. Aegis Wing. We used to
Yeah.
play that, yeah.
So yeah, R-Type was that game. I
Mhm.
remember what other game I remember. There was like I remember there were like six games that I really liked from it, and then everything else was just complete
Crap.
trash.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, again, where's TurboGrafx 16? All I remember from that was a commercial and how small the
Holy
game
crap!
size was.
I'm looking it up here about the top games on it, and believe it or not, Gradius was also on TurboGrafx 16. Even though I remember playing Gradius on. Wait, I remember playing Gradius on a different system.
But remember, they
Anyway,
ported back then. They ported games. Not every game was an exclusive.
Mhm.
It just took long to get over to you. Like it wasn't like 6 months ports or server ports. Some games took a year to get over. You
holy
know,
crap! They actually had Space Harrier on TurboGrafx 16.
Space Harrier. See
You
again.
yeah, you guys definitely aren't going to remember that game, but Kal-El, I think Kal-El at least should
See, this is
remember
where I
that
need.
game
This is where I need a picture because
because
it's like
like
Festival Quest. I saw the picture and I go immediately. I knew what that was.
You said
so
Galaxy
okay,
Quest?
I remember so Kal-El will remember the game when he actually sees it. Hold on, let
Mhm.
me see. Can I share my screen? I'm going to share my screen. Send a request to share the screen.
Bam.
Cal.
We got to send a request.
No,
Yeah, I
I forgot
think
to turn
that's
it on.
you
I,
forgot
I've
to
been
turn.
up.
Yeah.
I've been up really early, people.
I hear you. I hear you. He wasn't up really early. He just woke up. He just woke up. Don't listen to him. This is the game. You remember that game?
No.
This was it was also available in the arcade,
Mhm.
and yeah, but yeah, it was available on TurboGrafx 16. That's crazy. You have seen that this game before though. We have played this game.
Okay.
You and I.
So, does that character's legs actually jump off the ground, or is that like
No,
the
no, no,
big?
no, 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 no. It basically you're a guy with a backpack, and like you're like shooting things as they come at you, and like the angle was just so bad that like your character took up so much of the screen that was just painful to like be able to navigate around and shoot the things in front of you.
Again, game design and mechanics. See, that's the story of Oracle's life. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Oracle's like, yo, look at these mechanics. And sometimes that's what used to kill a game, not a review before you even play the game. Actual playing the game and going, yeah, this is bad.
You know what was what I remember being a really crazy game that I used to love to play? Guardian Legend for Nintendo. Have you got? Do you remember that game, Kyle?
No.
I love
Yeah.
when you say first. Can I pause you for a minute?
I'm paused.
Say these games from like 30 years ago.
So like,
Remember, I don't even know if they sold 100,000 copies,
mhm.
but I just love the way you said, "Do you remember that?" And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
no.
remember
I have,
6
I've,
kids.
I'm sorry, I have a relatively good memory. So like, I'll bring up things that you guys probably won't remember.
Yes,
So
I don't
first of
remember
all,
the games I played
you had
last year.
the game. You had the game, but I'm saying when you said that Guardians thing, I'm like,
What about Zelda 2?
Nope.
Yes, of course, I know Zelda 2.
What about you, Kyle? Do you remember Zelda 2?
Nope. I don't
That
remember
was
anything
when
with any
that
little
was
green
when
men.
that was
They-
when Link learned to do the downward thrust.
yes. Ooh, sword used to go. Ooh.
It was, and I remember hearing the name downward thrust. That was like this is when I was a kid. I was like, poor naming convention. Because look, every time you died, right, you would start all the way back in the room with like Zelda, laying in the background, like unconscious. And Link is just lingering in the room. Why? Hmm. And then the first move you learn was the downward thrust. It's like, no. Pause. This game isn't right.
I want to show you guys a project that I was working on, but I don't like how it turned out. So
Wait. Let's not say that. The project we were working on that we still need some advice.
It's
Uh,
gonna be
Okay,
worked
what's the
on more, I
project?
should say. But
I
it
shall
should have
I
been
shall
finished.
advise you on said project.
It should have been finished already. That's the whole issue. Um,
share your screen, just that
I
window.
did. Let me know when you
No,
guys
share
can
the whole
see it.
screen. I want to see all the other stuff.
No, I don't want to see any of the other stuff.
Let me know when you guys can see it. Can
I
you
can
guys
see
see
it.
my screen? Is my screen white?
Yes, it is.
It
All right.
is somewhat white.
All right.
Now all you have to do is
So
get the right music.
That was it.
yes, that was supposed to be. I had someone working on our intro so that we could have an intro before we start, and they said, "I got you, no problem." And that's what they made. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Because it's scrolling up versus what your inspiration was.
It was supposed to be. So some of the things were supposed to happen was one, it was supposed to be a DJ scratch intro. Two, the beat
Oh,
was
that
supposed
wait,
to be
that intro had sound? You didn't share sound if it had sound.
everything was supposed to be shared. It had sound. It was
You didn't share sound.
going.
Didn't hear any
You didn't
sound.
Sound
share
didn't
sound.
share. We try and see if I can get it to work like that again. Because I on my end it said everything was sharing.
I have questions.
No, you don't. I don't have the answers, so I can't tell you. So see, for me, I have sound completely on.
No, it's not
I'm
playing.
not hearing anything.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll send it over to you guys. But yeah,
I
it
think you got
should.
I think you got to take out
Okay, so
random.
you told me what inspired. We don't have to mention what specifically inspired it, but you told me what inspired it,
Mhm.
and that person clearly has no idea what
This
you were talking
exactly,
about.
exactly.
Because that looks absolutely nothing like what your inspiration, what you said
So
Mhm.
your inspiration was.
so what that looks like is the word that Oracle used today. If you could put that down in the
Comment below.
comments, we will send you something. Now, it may be another word for you to look up.
You
So
mean
don't okay, don't
obfuscate? Like, what are you talking
so yeah, so this was an
about?
obvious this is about obfuscate. This is about video game design and design concepts. That was a film reel versus what what the inspiration was. But I don't do
It
design
was
slander. You know why I don't do design slander or makeup slander? Because I'm not doing it. I don't know how to.
Exactly.
can we could just use that one as the closing credits?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is. Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it does work for the
it does
closing
look
credits.
like
Yeah.
it scrolls in credits. It scrolls. I will
It's
say
close.
I know how to make pictures scroll up and
Mhm.
down and put it in.
I'm just saying that, like, I could have done that for you in half the time you
Dude,
waited for
that's a
it,
whole
and
other
I
thing. It
was
was supposed to take, they were supposed to do it in 4 days. It took them 7 days. And I'm like, yo, really? Really, yo?
It's okay.
yeah,
It's
I
okay.
could have done that in half the time and come up with something
Mhm,
infinitely more accurate, more aligned.
mhm,
Not, I'm not the best video editor, but I'm
mhm,
definitely better than that.
mhm,
I mean, I could do that.
mhm,
Give me a few hours. I could do it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Too bad that work didn't come with a money
matter of
back
fact,
guarantee.
end this show. But for another topic, how people used to have to make their own DVDs. We used to know it. Nero, we're calling out you.
Yep.
Next show,
I
maybe.
used to have a CD and label burner. Do you remember those?
Oh, you had
Yeah.
the label
Burn the
burner?
CD, flip it over, burn the label.
Yo, I had my special signature, chicken
As a matter of
scratch.
fact, I still have a CD that supports burning labels on like an old computer I have there in the corner.
I love how you pointed out
No.
the old computer. That must be in that other galaxy right there, the Milky Way, the
Yeah,
Orion, the
it's
old.
right. It's right there on Mars.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, um,
I remember we used to keep Staples open, buying the little stickers
Yeah.
and the label
Hell
covers,
yeah.
and learning to put the sticker
when was
on.
the last time you saw Staples?
November last year.
Okay, we still have one, but like, if you look at it, I think it's a facade for like another because no cars are ever parked in the parking lot. So how is it still open?
It's
That's
probably
like all the
everything is
mattress
online,
stores.
and it's like probably like online.
Yeah,
All
but
it
everyone
is
knows the
like
mattress stores are facades. Like
Mhm,
everyone buys their mattress online now. Like no one
mhm,
goes to mattress stores still, unless you're talking about like in old folk communities. But like no one actually like those mattress stores are actually like a front for drug dealers.
mhm.
Uh, by the way, no mattress slanders, no money in the mattress. Got to get back to the mattress. We're a certain age. Like, subscribe. Again, it's one of these me's and two randos, whichever one you want to say. Thank you.
Wait, weren't you supposed to say something about?
Whatever. Bye.